Cameron on your left. We'll take questions for the offensive players.
Sawyer, at the podium, Coach Aranda said depth-wise, this is the most in-depth team he's been a part of at Baylor. Do you agree with that, and what is this team looking like for them season?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Oh, gosh. I mean, they didn't warn me about that. No, yeah, absolutely. I'd agree that it's one of the deepest teams we have. Just in years past, it's been like we obviously had the talent, but now we've got multiple guys in each room that can step up when their number's called and go out there and make plays when they need to. And then overall, just looking at it, I think we're returning a bunch of guys from last year's team, which is really encouraging, especially with how we ended the season. And so just building on that continuity, going into the offseason, going into the spring, summer now, and then into the fall, doing some really good things. And so I'm super excited to get the season started.
What next step do you want to just personally into this?
Yeah, I think all of my personal goals align with how the overall team does, to be honest, just because, like, as a quarterback, I feel like you can be the best quarterback in the world, but if your team doesn't win, it's like how successful or how good of a quarterback were you really, right? So I feel like a lot of that responsibility falls on my shoulders, and I'm here for it. And so I think, obviously, like, just to name a few things, as a competitor and everything, you want to be playing in the Big 12 championship. You want to win as many games, but in order to do that, you got to take it week by week. And so just we know we got Auburn week 1, and so just focusing on that game and trying to win that one is the start to it all.
So you talked about continuity and so many people back. What does it say in this era of college football that so many guys did stay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's huge. It starts with obviously Aranda and Spavital. Those are coaches that the guys want to play for because they didn't leave. In an era where guys are leaving for whatever it is. A better opportunity, money with NIL and stuff now. And so it's really encouraging. It's really nice to have guys like Josh, KT, the other guys that are here at Media Day with us, and just kind of building like we did, building off of what we did last year.
Hey Josh, how have you seen this guy grow as a quarterback as a leader of this team?
Yeah, no, I think it really goes back to whenever he first got here. He's really just kind of stayed the same and stayed the course. He was always a guy I could just kind of talk to off the field. He was real humble. Really just carried himself the same no matter what position he was in. So whenever it got to be his time to actually be the guy and kind of lead the team, it was a no-brainer. And so kind of what he says, his words are powerful. He may not just like scream and yell, things like that, but what he says is really powerful. So kind of seeing him and his role he's in now and just kind of bring guys up along with him has just been real cool to see.
Josh, you've garnered some preseason accolades along with some of your other teammates. Where you came from as a walk-on to where you are now, how do you balance those expectations knowing where you came from? Yes, sir.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think just really just kind of tuning it out. That the accolades and stuff, it's really cool to have, really cool to kind of receive those honors. But at the end of the day, we're here to kind of play football and really just win. And so doing that to the best of my ability, you can have all these preseason kind of potential things, but if you don't do anything, then like what's the point, you know what I'm saying? So I think just continually to have that chip on my shoulder and just kind of treat myself and carry myself as like, man, I'm a walk-on, so I'm still trying to fight for that spot. I'm still trying to fight for what's mine. And that's like the main thing that's really keeping me going.
Josh, clearly it's a new season, but what did the end of last season do? How do you carry that up without having that linger as it is in the season?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think just taking that momentum and just adding on to it is the main thing. We have a lot of returning people, a lot of new pieces that we got added, so getting those guys acclimated to what we built on last year and then just being more consistent and getting even more efficient offensively is kind of the main goal moving into next season.
Yes, sir. Just sorry, you went to the Manning Passing Academy. Obviously, you've seen a lot of players take the jump. You got guys attending that academy. What did you learn from them?
Yeah, it was really cool. Got to sit in a meeting with Peyton and Eli, and they kind of talked about their routine, weekly routine, how they studied the opponent, all that stuff. So those were all good nuggets to have. Wrote them down on a notebook, and going to use those throughout the course of the season. But then from there, it was really cool just to meet the other guys that, the guys that are here right now, from especially across the Big 12, and match a personality to the guy you watch on film, the guy you watch on TV. and just kind of get to know a different side of them. All of them are great human beings, great dudes, and it makes sense why they're successful quarterbacks too, because they're awesome off the field as well.
You both last year had a breakout year of sorts. Coach Aranda today has just been talking about the confidence that the team has been building. How does last year's success play into that? How do you want to build off of that?
Yeah, I think it starts with just how we approach things. You know, last year we were coming off of a 3-9 season, and so kind of that chip was on our shoulder to kind of prove people wrong. Weren't any expectations coming into the season, and now with how last season ended, like you mentioned, the expectations might be a little different. Whatever they are, what Josh said was true. Like trying to tune all of it out is the key. And the main thing, because you know, we're still that same team with the chip on our shoulder. You know, both of us were actually here whenever we went 3-9. Both of us played on that team. Same thing with Jackie Marshall, you know, over there. Like a lot of the guys that are and D-Bob, a lot of the guys that are here right now and that had roles in last year's successful season, we're also on that 3-9 season when nobody liked us. And so just keeping that chip on our shoulder is the main thing, and building off of how we ended last season.
Yeah, I would just say never getting too high or never getting too low. It's good to have the momentum, but we got to realize it's a new season, new team. There's always going to be different dynamics. It's just how can we do that to the best of our ability to come out on top each and every week.
Yeah, I think, you know, we'd like to be number one. You know, that's something that Spav. I can't say enough good things about Spav. I think everybody on the offensive side of the ball will agree on that. Just what he's done for us, how much he puts in, how much he cares for us, and our success as a unit. And I think it showed last year. And so, like what you said, there's really no satisfaction. We know what we can be, and even though we did some good things last year, like we didn't max out our potential, and so we're kind of looking to do that, taking that next step going forward this offseason and going into this next season.
So Dave mentioned that Ashton's decision should be coming down in the next few days. How much would you like to have him back, and what are those conversations been like with him as he goes?
Yeah, Ash, can't say enough good things about Ashton. Just he's been working out with us the whole time because that's the kind of dude he is. Team player through and through, you know. Like you said, like he's not even sure of his future, and he's still at every workout, every 7-on-7, every throwing session. That just speaks magnitudes to who he is and how he is. And so obviously, like as the quarterback, I'd love to throw to him because of just the relationship I have with him and what he did last year. He's a special talent, even better person, better teammate. And so we'll see how it all turns out. Obviously praying and hoping for the best, but we'll see. But yeah, no, Ashton's gonna be fine no matter what happens because of the human being that he is. And so obviously everybody on the team in the locker room loves Ashton, so we're hoping for the best for him.
Yeah, no, I'll just say that confidence just kind of comes with going through the ups and downs, especially the downs, but kind of just rising back up and just knowing what you're capable of. That also comes with experience. So me kind of going through the 2021 season, just seeing some of everything, coming after guys like Taekwon, RJ, kind of guys who kind of paved the way for me and just have been such awesome mentors. So that just comes with time and just kind of experiencing different things.
Guys, we've got time for 2 more questions.
I know you guys are going to look forward to whoever you're playing against. What does it do knowing that you're hosting an SEC team on a Friday night opener?
Yeah, it's big. You know, it's going to kind of set the standard for the season. We want to send a message, and so we're looking to do that, especially in a primetime Friday night matchup.
So you were talking about praying earlier. You talked about your faith a lot. How do you make sure that you're progressing as a player while also creating yourself for this?
Yeah, I think it starts with the faith to like that comes first. You know, everything else on the field is gonna happen. Just trusting in God's plan, to be honest. My whole mindset is I'm going to use the talents and the abilities that God has given me as a football player to glorify Him, to glorify Jesus as best I can, and to bring attention to what Jesus did on the cross. And then the rest of it kind of takes care of itself. You know, like I could play football for 20 more years. this could be my last year playing football. Like you just never know you never know what's going to happen, especially with the world we live in. It is crazy, but even through all that, like one thing remains the same, and that's what Jesus did 2,000 years ago on the cross. And so keeping that the main thing, and that being the main message, I think playing at an institution like Baylor that focuses on athletics, academics with a faith-based mission kind of creates the perfect formula for what we do. And I know Josh is a big part of that too. We actually do a Bible study within the team, and he and I gave the message probably 2 weeks ago. We gave the message that week, and so just doing stuff like that. Those are the things that you're going to remember. Obviously, you're going to remember the fact that we beat TCU on that last-second field goal and all that. But getting to do the Bible studies with the guys, seeing guys give their life to Jesus, that's at the end of the day, that's what matters.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.